everybody remember Leicester, the first game. You kind of described it as one of the low points of the season already. What did you learn from that, and what can you do to make sure that doesn't happen again?
We were competitive in that first half, and unfortunately we came under some pressure early in the second half, which we didn't deal with particularly well. We were a bit inaccurate. We give them the ball in areas which were very difficult for us to defend, and when you do that against a side of their quality, generally they will punish you, and they did punish us quite heavily. So we were disappointed with some of our execution, our accuracy, and how easily really we allowed them to dominate that game. But in fairness to them, they're such a quality side that if you do give them those chances, they will take advantage of them. We're not going to beat Leicester by just playing pretty rugby, we know that.
So how do you stop them dominating like they did up front, Nigel, and 12-foot road?
Well, we have to front up. I'm not sure whether they did dominate that much up front, to be honest. We had a fair share of the game. I think when you look back at the game, there was a period in the second half of 15 minutes where we had the ball and we give it away in silly areas, and consequently they scored all their points basically in that period. But it is a challenge for us. They pride themselves on their set piece. They pride themselves on their ability to dominate sides, and that's the big challenge for us.
Steve had 20 minutes or so at the end of the Edinburgh game. Are you comfortable that you could just kind of fit him back in there? That sounds like a stupid question, but obviously he hasn't played for a while. Is that something you'd be comfortable doing, or do you see that as an area where you have some genuine competition?
Well, we definitely have competition there, that's for sure. But I also believe that Steve is more than capable of slotting straight back in if he needs to. What you have with Steve is mentally he's extremely tough. Physically he's extremely tough. He's got a lot of experience, and he's a good voice to have in the squad. So all those things make Stephen of great value to us, really.
Is he ready for 80 minutes? Do you know this weekend?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Nigel, you talk about Leicester forwards. How much of a task is it for you when they've got the likes of Stankovic and Cole or Castro Giovanni on their bench and bring on 50-60 minutes? And you guys, you've been shoulder props to injury.
It is a challenge, and maybe we'll look at how we select and how we view the bench in terms of that, because we can't hide from the physical competition that's going to happen here, and if we do that, then we're going to come second best anyway. So Pack are aware of that. They know what they have to do. We've taken a lot of criticism as a pack of forwards, and people say it's our Achilles heel, but I firmly believe it's not. I firmly believe that we have a style of play in which sometimes takes a little bit away from our pack of forwards, and our pack of forwards can front up to any team. This weekend will be the real challenge for them, and they're going to have to do that, and they know that.
Do you see it as a classic clash for that much? Welsh flavour, English power?
Possibly, I think both camps have a different style of playing, probably slightly different values. So it's certainly a clash of different teams. But I think they have the ability to play some very good rugby as well, and we're going to have to be able to front up as a pack of forwards as well.
How important is Stephen's experience in it? A match this big.
Experience is very important, I think, and if you look historically at the sides that have done well in Europe, they have an awful lot of experience in their teams, and Steve's been there, he's done it, he's gone to 3 semi-finals and God knows how many quarter-finals in Europe, and that experience is important. It gives you a lot of confidence, it gives the players around him a lot of confidence, so he's a very important voice in the group, because overall we're a reasonably young team.
No, just Scarlett's a rarity in the modern game today, in that you do have ambition and daring, and especially watching a lot in England where it's territory, heads down, charge.
I don't know. I mean, we have a clear way that we want to play the game. I think it suits our tradition and our style. It suits the type of players that we've got, and it's what we want to do. And certainly as a coach, it's the type of game that I want to promote. The difficulty for us is to be successful playing that brand of rugby, and when you look back at again who's won the competition, it's not always the sides who try and play the most expansive rugby that win it. So we have to marry that with a very hard edge, and a very clinical edge, which is not easy to do because when you try and be expansive, you do open yourself up to the potential for errors, and so we've got to be very accurate on Saturday. But as I keep on saying as well, we're not running away from the physical confrontation. We know that's something that we've got to face, and we know that's something we've got to deal with. And if we can't do that, then anything else we try and do will just not happen. And that will manifest itself. The set piece will be one area, but I think it'll really manifest itself around the contact area.
Does it sort of dismay you? I know you're an inside centre, but you see so few old-fashioned outside centres these days.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the way the game has gone. It's hugely physical. It's based on a power game in many regards. It's based on percentages, and we know that we have to get better in all those areas, and add that to what we're trying to do.
How important to you, Nigel, is the return of John Davies in that respect?
John's been. It's been great to have John come back. I think we've managed well without him, and it's enabled us to export and develop other players in that position. It's been great. But John is pretty unique in his abilities. He's very quick. He's very powerful, and we'll be working on his distribution as well, which can be good at times. So he's pretty unique in what he brings as a player. He's a game breaker with X factor, and we're going to need as many of those players on the park on Saturday as we can.
Big opportunity, and there's going to be a big crowd to see the game of the weekend. This is probably what the club needs, isn't it?
It's absolutely what we need. We've worked hard over the last 2 years to get anywhere near this position, and to have this opportunity to go into probably one of the fixtures of the weekend with everything to play for against one of the stalwarts of the competition in Leicester is a fantastic position for us to be in. We've worked hard for this fixture at this moment, and we want to give it everything we've got.
Is it defining sort of day for the ground, Nigel? Because there was always the Straddy Park factor. This is probably the biggest game in the stadium.
Yeah, I think it's probably the biggest game the stadium has seen to date. And I say it's taken us 2 years to get anywhere near this. So we're very excited about that, and we're very happy and proud with what we've achieved as a group over the last 18 months or so. I think we've got a clear set of values as a group. We try and play a brand of rugby that we enjoy, and we like to think that other people enjoy watching. But the test for us now is to be able to make that a winning brand of rugby, and unless we can do that, then invariably at some stage people will be questioning what we're doing.
In the history of the Heineken Cup match, Scarlets, Leicester produced some great battles. Explain what it means for you, because you would have been involved in some of those.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean very much in terms of looking back at the history of it, and in fact we've only won one game against them, haven't we? I think it was great when the draw was originally made, because there was that history, and we had traditionally played very well against them, albeit only having won once. But we got demolished in the last game, so it's all about the here and now, really, and we're very keen to make amends for that. But realise that if we don't turn up, if we're not on top of our game, then we're not going to be competitive on Saturday. So it's a huge challenge for us right now, regardless of what's gone in the past. And I think we can maybe be a little bit guilty down here of reflecting on things that have gone in the past. We never got past the semi-final as a region, so we've still got everything to play for. But it's about this group of players right now.
Is it motivated the fact that you have been written off up front for this game? Because people are expecting Leicester to come down here and absolutely steamroll that pack.
Yeah, I think it's as an individual within that pack of forwards, they'll obviously be aggrieved at some of the stuff that's been said, but there's only one way that they can actually react to that positively, and that's to put in a big performance on the weekend, and they know that. Whether or not we'll be able to do it, I don't know. Leicester tend to have the ability to overpower most teams.
How important is it, Nigel, for the game in Wales in general to have sides in the quarter-finals of the Heineken Cup?
Oh yeah, I think it's hugely important, and it's a reflection on the talent within the country. It's a reflection on the development programme within the country, and it's a reflection on probably how Wales will be able to compete at the highest levels as well. So I think it's extremely important.
It's important, but I know last year it was maybe too much in favour of defending your team that you don't want. the attacking team just have it all the wrong way at the breakdown. It needs to be that.
There has to be a contest. It has to be a fair contest, but it has to be within the law and the interpretation of the law as it's now seen. And also, we're going to have to be very accurate, very precise, very clear about what we're doing on the field to give ourselves any chance on Saturday.